Alright, hey guys. Hello, welcome back. Robert French here, or as I am known in the gaming galaxy far, far away as Red 5 French. Coming back at you with a little ongoing series that I've been kind of working on where basically I just game and talk at the same time. As I've mentioned before, real briefly in my other videos, I come from like the 80s and 90s generation of gamers where talking and gaming did not really go side by side. It was more about concentration and focus, and really you just talked to, offset your opponent if you're playing like Mortal Kombat or something like that. So this whole headset gaming, talking while you're gaming thing is kind of like new to me, and I'm just trying to get a little more comfortable. So I've been doing a little series. I've done one already with like Spider-Man and Mad Max, the Disney afternoon cartoon collection, and there's basically just things that I kind of grew up with in my childhood. Now, I really didn't grow up with Star Wars, not to say that it wasn't around when I was a kid, but I wasn't really into it, as I mentioned in my last video. In fact, I think, and I mentioned this in my last video, I think it was because there was a kid who was really like just pretentious and pompous and arrogant, and he didn't like anybody playing with his Star Wars toys. Like he had like a little like, I think it was like a stormtrooper face case that he kept all his figures in.
Shock the area.
And he didn't want anybody like messing with his toys, and so I think I just didn't like him for that reason. And I was like, all these Star Wars guys are nerds and I hate them and I don't like Star Wars. Star Wars is stupid. The guys who like Star Wars are stupid. Like I think I said in my last video, F Star Wars, F Patrick. But when I did find Star Wars and I did discover it, which I was a little bit older, I had a job at a video store, and that's kind of when I discovered it, and I quickly fell in love with it, not so much just for the story of Star Wars itself, but for this. What is this guy doing? Breakdancing? So this guy is tweaking out. Put that guy out of his misery. But yeah, I quickly fell in love with it. Not just, like I said, for the story of Star Wars itself, but kind of for the stories that went into Star Wars as well. Another heavy over here. Do I got people over here? Yeah, there's all kind of guys over here. If I can't take some of these guys out.
Shields up, droid.
When I got into Star Wars quickly after the prequels were set to be released, so it's kind of a good time to get into Star Wars because there was a lot of Star Wars coming out, even though I think many will argue the prequels aren't the best stories to come out of the Star Wars franchise. It was excited because it was like, oh man, I'm getting into this new franchise that was new to me, and already there's more content on the horizon. So I like this game. I mentioned also this game was actually the reason for me actually wanting to even get a PS4.
It's a detonator.
Okay. I was kind of actually on the fence with Xbox and PS4, and then at some point I think it was just like some of the content exclusive to PlayStation. I just finally hedged. Was not always a fan of PlayStation. I'll save some of that story for like another day. Where are these shots coming from?
Joy, disable them.
So that I can clear this platform. I try to keep my videos to about like 20 minutes or so. Alright, we're getting ready to move out here. To me, this is one of those games, much like Spider-Man, Mad Max, some of these other games that I've played on with my PlayStation here. These are like experiences to me. These aren't just games. These are actual experiences. And if you are a fan of Star Wars, I'm sure you're aware that this is one of those experiences. Oh shoot. This is not good. Can't deploy.
Shields up, droid.
I'm not gonna make it out of this alive.
TIE fighters ahead.
Nice. That's perfect.
Let's just book it.
Oh, come on.
Let's just book it. What we'll do is let this guy do the work for us real quick.
Shields. That's all of them. Now let's find that ship.
All right.
A cloud car?
It's a ship?
Fine.
Let's get in. There we go. All right. Yay, I did it. I got past this level for you guys. All right. Man, that was intense.
It has weapons. What more do you want?
How do I talk and play something like that at the same time? It's like all of the freaking stormtroopers that didn't die on the
And 3 Star Destroyers.
Death Star. All the stormtroopers that didn't on the Death Star were on that little base
Think
there.
about it. All we need to do is take out the fuel cells.
And this right here is one of the reasons I really wanted to get
Exactly.
Battlefront, because not only do you get to run around and be like a Jedi and be Han Solo, which are some of my favorite aspects from like Rogue 2 and Rogue Squadron 3. But you get to fly the ships and, you know, not just the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters, but stuff like this cloud ship here.
But we can't be too careful. Acknowledge, command.
Alright, now I played this game before, I beat this game already. I love the story, I love the characters really pulled me into this game. In fact, spoiler alert, at the end, when basically you're forced to say goodbye to your father, I went back for him. I couldn't just leave him. Now I'm gonna have a little fun here. I'm supposed to be destroying these things, but I think I'm gonna open up on the TIE Fighters first here and just kind of give them like a little wake-up call. What do you think? If I can lock on one real quick here. And then we're going to have a little fun, because flying and shooting is one of my favorites. Too close, kid. Let's see. There we go. And...
That cloud car isn't making a delivery.
No kidding.
Take it down, 1-2. All units, form up on my position. Rogue cloud car at .032. Shoot it down.
Good shot.
Yeah, let's see. Come on, get out of here. I might have bit off more than I can chew. Alright. And this thing is not as easy to fly as I remember. Got one! Alright, don't get cocky, kid. See if I can disrupt their targeting computers using my left trigger. Oh, speed out of here.
Once you stop that ship, we're losing fuel cells. Our fleet needs this Savannah gas. I'm trying, Command. It's a slippery one.
That's right, I am. Alright. Come here, you, yeah. Ha 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 ha. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's do this. Oh, no, 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 no. Hold together, girl. Let's hold together, girl. All right. Oh, no! Where did that come from? That was sad.
When I said we needed a ship, I should have been more specific.
Yeah, something,
It has weapons. What more do you want?
something with better
For it not
shields.
to be a cloud car.
Almost sounds like she's saying
Dead ahead.
cloud car.
And 3
Or,
Star Destroyers.
she is saying cloud car.
Which we're going to blow
Clown
up.
car.
You know what? You were right. The cloud car was not a good choice for this.
I do like the fact that this game
All we need to do is take up
is one of the rare opportunities, or
The explosion will cause a chain reaction.
I guess one of the
All
rare
the way back to those Star Destroyers.
That is
What's
the
the
craziest
opportunities?
thing I've ever heard.
but one of the, I guess, just rare times where we actually see
Command,
or
I've got eyes on a
hear
cloud car
female
inbound on your destroyer.
stormtroopers. Typically in the films, aside from like
At least
Captain
it's good for something.
Phasma in the new series,
Adjust approach vector for intercept.
most of the stormtroopers are female. In fact, I think all the stormtroopers are female in the beginning of the series, which kind of like makes me wonder, like, if there wasn't a revolution in female rights, much like we're experiencing in our own world, if there wasn't something similar in the galaxy where finally women were like, hey, you know, we can be pilots too. Oh no! See, this is what I'm talking about. I cannot talk and play video games. I told you guys to shut up. Everybody out there needs to be quiet. I told you I can't play.
When I said we needed a
Talk
ship,
at the
I
same
should have
time.
been more
Gosh!
specific.
It has weapons. What more do you want?
For it not to be a cloud car.
So
Fueling platform's
ridiculous.
Dead ahead,
And 3 Star Destroyers.
which we're going to blow up.
You know what? You were
I'm
right.
aware
Cloud car
the
was
new
not a
Star
good
Wars
choice
game
for
came
this.
out, and I should be playing that,
Think
but
about it.
I
All we need
believe
to do
that's
is
going to be a
take up the
Christmas
fuel
present.
cells.
I hope there's a Christmas
And
present
the
coming up.
explosion will cause a chain reaction.
Exactly. All the
Which would
way
be another
back to
great
the start.
experience. Like I said, I call this an
That is
experience.
the craziest thing I've ever heard.
You
Just
love
being
it.
able to walk around and
Command, I've got eyes on a
kind of
cloud car
interact with the
inbound on your
world
destroyer.
that I've been a fan of for so
Attached into
long.
Imperial comms.
At least it's good for something.
just went to Disney recently with my wife, and we did the whole Galaxy's Edge
Acknowledge, Command.
at Disney, and it was just absolutely, absolutely amazing. I think what I love the most about Star Wars is the fact that even though it is,
That cloud car isn't making a delivery. Take it down, 1-2.
you know, like this
All units,
fantasy
form up on my position. Rogue
story.
cloud car at .032. Shoot
It's
it
very
down.
relatable. I don't know what it is. I mean, you know, you have basically like, I guess, the wizard, the princess, you know, the young hero, the warrior, and so it's like, I don't know if it's just got that classic mythology that, you know, as a kid you're so used to,
We're losing fuel cells. Our fleet needs this Savannah gas.
you know, reading these kinds of tales as a kid. But even though like these characters exist in this strange world in the galaxy far, far away, there's just something very accessible and relatable with all the characters, you know, like you... To me, some of the characters and the decisions they make seem more real to me than some of the decisions and stuff that, you know, you might see in movies that are more grounded in reality, if that makes any sense. Thing does have some speed. I'll have to use that to my advantage there. Oh, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. This is bad, bad, bad. Oh no 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 no, do not do not crash again, little dude. You're trying to though, aren't you? Come on. And I love... Oh, no! Thank you. The fact that, you know, with the original Star Wars, you know, the special effects and everything just being done so practical. And I've always enjoyed that type of filmmaking, you know, where you can actually interact with it, and it's not just, I mean, like, I enjoyed Yoda as a puppet and not as like a CG
That's the last
character.
Too bad Hask slipped through our fingers.
There we go, alright. Yay! But like I said, the creative work that goes into creating those kinds of ships right there, and I mean, like, this whole world, and it's just like, it, you know, Star Wars to me has always been more about movie making and more about like imagination. You know, it's in the hands of Disney now, and a lot of people feel like, you know, Disney's probably,
to recover a weapons cache from inside.
you know,
We are gonna steal it first. I've called
not
in
the
some help
best
to
move,
guard
you know,
your
this is like
region.
George Lucas's baby.
Triff,
Why would we
you'll
want
be
to
on the
put this in
ground
the
with
hands
General
of the
Calrissian.
Disney company?
Secure those weapons and
But
call
if
us
you
for
ask me,
escort.
like, the stuff that's come
No
out,
matter what, they can't fall
so
into my
far has
father's
been
hands.
just, you know, absolutely, absolutely amazing. And oh, this is so beautiful. Gosh, I forgot how beautiful this game was.
You have a bad feeling about this.
But Disney's always
I'd be
been
worried
one
if
of
you
those
didn't.
companies that has just been full of imagination and taking entertainment to the next level and to the next
Relax. It's one strike team. We'll be fine.
to the next universe, you know, to the next galaxy. And you know, with the new episode on the horizon, and the Mandalorian that's out now, which, gosh, is quickly becoming like one of my favorite new Star Wars things.
I only brought you for the company.
I think it's a sign that it's a good time for Star Wars, and Star Wars has continued to produce great stories, and it's these stories and these movies and these shows that have been coming out. Like, I mean, I watched The Mandalorian over the last few days, and it's just made me want to go back and play this game and talk about Star Wars and watch as much Star Wars as I possibly can. Between the Solo movies and, you know, Rogue One and just everything that's come out recently. And what is that? I do a little shuffle walk here. Oh. It's just to me it's one of those, like, even like I said, you know, the prequels isn't, you know, the best example of the work that come out of Star Wars, but it's all, like, to me, just like part of one story, one giant movie. You know, this game that connects, you know. I just love the shuffle. This shuffle is cracking me. Do you walk like that? How do you walk? Why do you shuffle like that? That is just so funny. But this game is just another piece of that story connecting the whole franchise. You know, it's like, have you seen Star Wars? It's like, well, yeah, of course I've seen Star Wars, but have you seen Star Wars? Have you seen it all?
Stay quiet.
The demands of the Empire have outgrown your supply. Admiral Versio has ordered you to double your production immediately. These weapons are vital to our plans in the Western Reaches. Those not on the assembly line will patrol the area. It is imperative our presence remain undetected. Now get back to work.
You're gonna shoot him. Let's just get this over with. Here we go!
Haha, kid. Time to drink a Colt 45. This blaster is no joke. Why couldn't I have this blaster on the last freaking mission? Come on. What? What? Yeah. Haha. Fastest gun in the kid, West. That's... Nope. Oh, man. But look at this. This is what I've been talking about here. I mean, this... Oh, look how beautiful this is. I'm just going to take a moment here and revel in my glory. Oh, man. You know. And, you know, I talked about The Mandalorian just now. You know, it's just something I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday. It's really funny to me that the fans of Star Wars, the people who are like my age and who actually like grew up watching Star Wars, are the ones who are kind of like having to remind George Lucas like what Star Wars is. And you know,
are we going inside?
Yeah, we are going to go outside, but I want to check outside real quick. You know, and you know, the prequels I think are great because, like I said, anything that adds more layers and more texture to the story is going to benefit it. The quality and the work that went into it was amazing, but it just never, like, this is what Star Wars looks like to me. This is what it's to be: smoky, steamy, greasy, oily, dirty. And, like, you know, I understand that Star Wars, the prequels, take place in a world that, you know, existed like 30 years before the movies that, you know, started the franchise. But to me, there should still be like a lot of dirt, a lot of smoke, a lot of soot, and everything was just bright, shiny. I mean, even the bar scene was like this sports bar from a mall in LA with like all these like bright lights, and it's just like, you know, what are we trying to accomplish here? And I felt like nobody who was working on the prequels had the balls to stand up to George Lucas and say, hey, look, you know, this is fun, but this is what I think Star Wars should look like, and not just be happy making like 2-hour toy commercials. Now, I'm not going to rant on the prequels because, like I said, they do justice in the fact that they kind of add texture. But I mean, stories like The Mandalorian, where like I feel like, you know, watch episode 1, watch episode 4, watch episode 5, 6, watch a couple episodes of The Mandalorian, then watch The Force Awakens, and tell me if it does not feel like you have just watched one giant complete saga that all fits together, you know. And hey, if you want to go even hardcore, watch Solo, Rogue One, then, you know, jump into the original Star Wars trilogy, follow it up with some Mandalorian, and tell me that it just doesn't feel right, you know. It doesn't feel like the Star Wars that we all know and love. And that's why I love this game so much. That's why I wanted to play a little bit, talk to you guys a little bit. Hopefully, coming this Christmas, I'll be bringing you some more Star Wars action with Jedi: A Fallen Order. But until next time, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe in the sections below, and feel free to follow me on Twitter at RFA the Third. That's RFA the Third, 3RD. For more little clips and snippets on video game action. I'm going to continue to get lost in this here galaxy far, far away. Until next time, remember, you know, may the Force be with you, and I have spoken.